It's day 5 of Grotmas, and Games Workshop has finally given us some rules. We did it! Today, Games Workshop announced that 1. The quarterly balance day slate will be next week, and apparently due to the Red Gobbo, we are receiving the detachments that would have been released over this week until next Wednesday by the sounds of it. So in short, this means we're going to be getting 6 detachments over the next few days. To a degree, this still feels like a downgrade from last year's Grotmas, as, again, last year we received a detachment every single day, but remains to be seen what they'll be doing after next week when the data slate drops. So in this video, I'll be talking about what today's detachment reveal was, what the implications of it might be, and whether or not it'll see much play. But before I get into that, remember to go down below, press the like, comment on the video, tell us what you think about this detachment, and hit the subscribe button, do all the standard YouTube pleasantries. Thank you. The first detachment reveal this Grotmas is the Grizzled Company for the Astra Militarum. Thematically, this detachment seems to be a sort of, your military guys are all jaded and experienced and they've been through wars and all that kind of vibe, which is a nice thing for a guard to have, and very on brand for them. But what does it do? Let's find out. The detachment rule of the Grizzled Company is Ruthless Discipline. Add 1 to the number of orders each Astra Militarum officer model from your army can issue as stated on their datasheet. While Astra Militarum unit from your army is affected by an order, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, reroll a hit roll of 1. If the target of that attack is within range of an objective marker, reroll a wound roll of 1 as well. This seems like an extremely strong detachment rule. The immediate implication I'm seeing at first glance is that you take, a Rogel Dawn tank commander or Lehman Russ tank commander and have them order several other tanks, giving all of your tanks reroll 1s to hit and wound against things on objectives. Quite a strong buff. I always have slight concerns when detachment rules like this give damage output buffs, as it means that the points values of such models have to be balanced around the highest damage output from any detachment, which means things might go up in price if this detachment ends up being too good and become bad in other detachments by proxy. Our first enhancement here is Abhuman Detail, Commissar model only. Add the Ogrin keyword to the list of units this model can issue orders to, as stated on its datasheet. In the declare battle formation step, the bearer can be attached to an Ogrin squad or a Bulgrin squad unit. First off, minor spelling error. This is the wrong type of 2. Laugh at this user. Good job, GW. Secondly, this feels like a bit of a weird fix. It feels like this is a unit that Commissar should probably be able to lead anyway, but it's nice that it's here. Nice that they can do it, I suppose, albeit only 1 unit of them. Immediate implications of this would be, you attach these to Bulgrin or Ogrins, you give them the +1 weapon skill order, and then throw them at something that's on an objective, and they'll be hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s to hit and wound, which seems quite good. Equally, it also doesn't seem bad on Ogrins for their guns, and their somewhat inconsistent melee attacks as well. Editing Astra here, I forgot that Ogrins are slightly better at their melee than they are at shooting. They hit on 4s with their guns and hit on 3s in melee. Still good buffs for them. Our second enhancement is Aquilan Eye. This goes on an Astra Militarum officer model only, and each time you select an order for the bearer to issue, you can select the order below, Target Weak Spot order. Each time a model in this unit makes a ranged attack that targets an enemy unit within 12 inches, improve the armor penetration characteristic of that attack by 1. Seems extremely strong to apply to a tank, if this is something you can put on a tank, I'm not entirely sure there. But also you could apply it to something like the Ogrins we just mentioned, as the Ogrins gain +1 AP against the closest target, and this would also give them another AP, making their guns AP 3, I think. So there's some pretty funny combos you can do here. Seems like an interesting option to consider. Notably, I think applying this to some kind of tank would make battle cannons a lot better, as usually their big weak point is that they are AP 1 typically, so pushing those to AP 2 and maybe higher depending on what the stratagems are here is quite powerful. Enhancement number 3 is Spec Ops Veteran. This goes on an Astra Militarum infantry officer model only, so you can't put this on a tank. Each time you select an order for the bearer to issue, you can select the order below, so we get another extra order. Move to the shadows. Each time a ranged attack targets this unit, until those attacks are resolved, models in this unit have the stealth ability. Seems like an okay order, giving a big infantry break of like Kriegsman or something. Stealth can be quite annoying for certain armies to deal with. Lastly, we have Lord Hailer, Loud Hailer. This goes on another officer unit of any type. Each time you select a unit for this officer to issue an order to, it can do so within 12 inches instead of within 6, so just longer range. It's not bad. Overall, there's definitely different options to play with here, and there's probably various different combinations you can try. All of them seem like they have some use cases, although some are more specific than others. I feel like if you aren't taking specific things, you might just take the extra range, but otherwise the AP is probably the standout here to me, and the Ogrin one will depend on if you're taking Ogrins or not. Let's move on to the stratagems. Our first stratagem is Snap to It. 1 CP, start of any phase. You target one Astra Militarum officer unit from your army, and that unit can issue one order as if it were your command phase. So just start of any phase, you can flip an order to something else, or something along those lines. So you could put a unit in the stealth buff and then switch it when it moves to a different phase, which is pretty interesting. I'm sure there's a few different applications here. Things like giving the movement buff with move, and then switching to a shooting base buff in the start of the shooting phase. It's a good strat. Stratagem number 2, Purging Fire. Again, 1 CP. In your shooting phase, target an Astra Militarum unit from your army, affected by an order that has not been selected to shoot this phase. And this gives ranged weapons in that unit lethal hits when you are within range of an objective marker. Seems decent. We have No Retreat. This is 1 CP in your command phase. Target a Astra Militarum unit that is affected by the Duty and Honor order. I believe this is the OC one. If you're within range of an objective marker, it becomes stickied until the start or end of a phase. No real notes here, this is just generally a decent stratagem if you don't have other access to sticky objectives. Stratagem number 4 is Mordian Minute. In your shooting phase, target an Astra Militarum infantry unit from your army that is affected by the first rank fire, second rank fire order until the end of the phase. Each time that unit makes an attack, improve the strength characteristic by 1. It seems like it would combo well with other things available here, like the AP order that you can apply to a unit. It would make a basic shooting unit quite strong at killing just general infantry in general. I said general twice there, didn't I? Stratagem number 5, Veteran Sharpshooters. 1 Astra Militarum unit in your shooting phase for 1 CP. Give that unit ignores cover. This is just a good stratagem, and I guess also a counter to Recon Guard within Guard, which is quite funny. Our last strat for this detachment is Additional Armor. In your opponent's shooting phase for 1 CP, after an enemy unit has selected its targets, target 1 Astra Militarum unit from your army that was selected as a target, and until the end of the phase, each time that attack targets that unit, worsen the armor penetration by 1. So essentially this is armor contempt that seems to last for the entire phase, but is also limited to only the shooting phase, so you can't use this against like a mob of Khorne berserkers. So there's some limitations there. Generally, this seems like quite a solid detachment. It seems like it has a solid amount of damage output increases. All of the stratagems seem good, all of the enhancements seem considerable. So overall, I think Guard players will be fairly happy with this. I would be fairly happy if I receive something like this for one of my armies. Whether or not this becomes meta or anything like that, it remains to be seen, but the damage output increases might make Guard tank lists very scary, potentially. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comments section. Are any of you Guard players? Please let me know. Let me know what you think of this detachment. And once again, a shout out to my patrons. Thanks again to Weewoo, Inquisitor Skelly, and Anthony Cornish for supporting the channel. I couldn't do it without you guys. As for the rest of you, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.